Who will be crowned king or queen? What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to WeSibs, West Coast, East Coast siblings. We are back. Another day, another episode of Vikings Season 6, Part 2. This is episode 12. We're going to talk about everything. This is going to be a recap, review, biggest takeaways, reaction, all rolled into one video. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell so that you don't miss an episode. And with that, guys, let's get into it. Now, the main premise of this episode is basically the vacuum that has been created with Bjorn's death, the power struggle that's going on. And we have some candidates for king or queen. There are two possible queens and two possible kings that this episode sets up. So we're going to go over each of those. Now, first off, let's start with the ladies, Gunhild and Ingrid. They are both candidates for being queen of Kattegat and leader of all the people. Gunhild, and correct me if I'm saying that wrong, she is the next natural heir to the throne. Being Bjorn's wife, she's also an experienced shield maiden that has the respect of all the people. And that should be it, right? Problem solved before it even begins. Well, not so fast. Ingrid, who is also Bjorn's wife, but his second wife, she is pregnant with Bjorn's child. Now, there's some question as to the legitimacy of who the father is of Ingrid's child, but Ingrid is confident that it is indeed Bjorn's child and the rightful heir, king of Kattegat. Now, Eric is actually working behind the scenes in this episode, pitting Bjorn's two wives against each other. And his ultimate goal, I think, is for power, but he's trying to see how things play out as both of them have fairly legitimate claims to the throne. Eric has made it clear to Gunhild that he wants to be with her and be her husband, making it clear that he was upset with Bjorn over his decision to take a second wife when he already had a beautiful wife such as Gunhild. And Gunhild actually gives him an opportunity to create a new heir, and maybe she will claim that this is Bjorn's child. But now that Gunhild has gotten romantic with Eric, she may claim that the child inside of her is indeed Bjorn's child. So that's the situation with the two of them, but here's how I think it'll play out. Ingrid's case is a little bit stronger, and it's because she holds the child of Bjorn. You have to think about where Kattegat is right now. They're in the midst of turmoil. They just lost their king, a great hero. They could be getting attacked by Prince Oleg again any moment. For the people to know that the blood of Bjorn flows through the veins of the child in Ingrid's womb, she would be a shoo-in automatically, because they need to know that they'll have a strong leader coming, and they might be able to deal with Ingrid, although I don't believe she would be as good of a leader right now as Gunhild, who's obviously a shield maiden, has experience. She was the wife of Bjorn and would be able to be a better queen now, but perhaps Bjorn's son will be a better king later. So that's going to be the decision that they're faced with, and I think that Ingrid just has the slightly stronger case. Now, the next possible ruler of Kattegat is Ubbe. Assuming that Ingrid's child is legitimate, Ubbe would be the uncle to the heir, Bjorn's son. Now, in pretty much any and every story, there's always tension between uncles and nephews when it comes to who will be the next ruler, because an uncle can always have a son and then want their son to be the next ruler instead of the legitimate nephew. But thankfully, this would be a pretty good setup, as Ubbe doesn't really want to be king. Much like his father Ragnar, he doesn't like the weight and burden of kingship, would much rather do his own thing over in Iceland, but he definitely feels that pull to go back as the entire land is in turmoil. Now, we all know Ivar has a legitimate claim, but we'll skip over him just for a second. We'll talk about him in just a second, but I want to talk about Fitzurk really quick, because he shows up at Kiev and has a discussion with Prince Oleg. Now we have two sons of Ragnar in Kiev, and while I don't think Fitzurk is even cut out to really rule Kattegat, I don't even think he can intellectually match up with someone like Ivar, who's been working his own plans behind the scenes for a very long time in Kiev. He is a threat, and he's in this episode, and he's brought there for a reason. So it'll be interesting to see how the two interact going forward. But speaking of Ivar, I want to now move into what happens with him. There are some pretty big developments here. So when we first meet him, he's obviously still working his plan to take over Kiev and kill Prince Oleg, likely. He's enlisting the help of Igor, who he keeps promising that, yes, he'll be king, but we all know that Ivar wants to be king of Kattegat and possibly the kingdom of Rus as well, not really looking to put Igor in his rightful place as king. But in this episode, we also meet again with Prince Deer, who has now rallied plenty of soldiers, and they seem like they're in position to attack Kiev and possibly kill Prince Oleg. Prince Deer truly seems to love Igor and wants wants to see him ascend to his rightful place as king in the kingdom of Rus, but at the same time, Ivar is working his own magic, and I think he's going to stab Prince Deer in the back at some point, possibly taking over his army to attack Kiev. Either way, it seems like Prince Oleg's days are numbered. Now, all this comes to a grinding halt with Freydis, who I think is a plant by Prince Oleg. She is used to manipulate Ivar into giving her information and thereby giving Prince Oleg more information on Deer. So they actually sleep together in this episode, so Ivar's already compromised. But then she uses this to get all the information on what Prince Deer is doing, Igor's involvement, all of it. Everything is exposed now, and all she has to do is run back to Prince Oleg. This is valuable information that could secure her security and just destroy the entire plan. And this would not only spell the death of Ivar, but also possibly Igor, as he has been a willing party this entire time. Side note, a couple things happen in this episode to really drive a wedge between Igor and Prince Oleg, as well as there wouldn't really be enough for Igor to really hate Prince Oleg until this episode. You know, he totally destroys his room and makes him kill somebody. So there's a lot of emotional detachment from Prince Oleg at this point with Igor. I don't know if it's necessarily unrealistic, but remember, Ivar has been a super strategist mastermind this entire season. So for him to just quickly, not only just sleep with Freydis, but to just give her all the information, the latest up-to-date updates on what's happening with their attack on Kiev, after, right before they had slept together, he said, "I don't trust you. I don't think that you really are on our side and against Prince Oleg. I think you're just saying that." He called it right there. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. But her womanly ways convinced him, I guess. And, you know, Ivar is going to end up probably dying for this. So we'll see what happens. There's still plenty of episodes left. So again, guys, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell so that you don't miss an episode as I cover this entire season. If you want the episodes faster, be sure to leave a like on the video so I can churn these out. That lets me know you guys want this more and you want it faster. So let me know what you thought of this episode. Leave all your comments in the description below. I will read every one and respond to every one. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. And if you're feeling awesome, check out our sister channel, The La Quente Ledger. I've got more videos and episodes on different things over there. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one.